speaking of Sports Nation, did you know, or if somebody told you 3 weeks ago that the Phillies would be sitting 3 games into playoff baseball, 3-0 on the road, what would you have said? And Wiz, kid, what do you think about that?
Well, I was absolutely no way to start 3-0 the way we had. It's been incredibly impressive.
There's a couple oddities here, and this is not in the form of a trivia question, just observation. Tell me your first observation that doesn't mesh with the regular season. And there's a few.
Well, the only thing that on quick thought jumps out is the defensive performance, and we've had it's been pretty stellar. And we look at Castellanos yesterday with that huge catch in right field. That wasn't here early this year.
Where does it come from?
That catch was that catch saved really saved the game, because as we talked about yesterday, if that ball slips through, there's a very decent chance that could be inside the park home run as that ball's creeping down the right field line or starts to tail away down there.
You're 2 for 2, my man. Before I go to Coach Al and the Wiz Kid, and you could call me Coach Chuck for now, we reconstructed the play, Coach, and we did frame by frame, and Marsh is to the left of second base if you're the batter. He's got to run. He's got to go basically to Grand Canyon back. He has no chance of getting to that ball to do anything effectively. So Castellanos has to get up after a full dive. He's slow of foot. Go back to a ball that's a dying quail. When it gets to the corner, it's wounded. It's bleeding out. It doesn't have any life in it. It spins down there and just sits in the corner. He's got to get up, go get that ball with a weak arm. Hopefully the cutoff guy, unlike most, goes out deeper, so he's not too hopping to throw, which is another 18 steps running. It's just not going to work. That's an inside the park home run. The batter is of average speed, not super quick. Does that you agree with that observation, Coach?
I agree, and especially that spin always goes towards that corner.
Right.
I mean, even if it hits the outside tip of his glove and it goes trickling in there, he's completely prone by the time he gets up and this and that. And at the worst, they're going to have a man on third with 1 out, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. Man on
definitely
third, 1
that.
out.
I mean, he could literally walk when he gets to second to third, so that's not even an issue. He's also, the way his body position is, not exactly what you call athletically ready to hop back up and sprint. So I think he gives up half a baseline just getting the heck up from where full cart layout, unbelievable. I thought it bounced. Did you see it? I thought it bounced.
No, that was right in the web.
No, he had it. Yeah, he had it. But my phone blew up saying it bounced. I said, I saw that too. Sometimes the way they turn the glove real quick creates a bounced look. But anyway, what a spectacular play. Give me a second oddity, Coach. What else have you watched in 3 games and go, wow, I don't know that that's common to the regular season?
Well, one thing is the home run wasn't the main way they're scoring runs.
Excellent.
With some bunts and moving hitters and winding up with sacrifice flies, and that's the way you and I like to play ball and played ball and managed and all that type of stuff.
I mean, what the heck? I mean, you watch thinking the postseason should play out like the regular season because you just watch it for 162 games. Oh, no. All of a sudden, everybody's trying to bunt, even the home run hitters, Harper and Schwarber, which when they show the shift and Harper looks at that, he says, you know what? Right now, if I put a bunt down, it's a double. It's second and third. Hey, if you said to the bench, Coach, I'm going to hit a double, but not a home run, what would the coach say?
Yeah.
Have at it. Yeah, so, and Harper's so frustrated because he knows all he has to do is get it down to the third base line.
Just get it down.
The shortstop was 5 feet from second. I have a picture of it. If Jimmy can put it up, I'll send it to him. Schwarber's in the same situation. But they're bunting runners over, and then they're sacking them in. They've got, I think, 6 sack bunt, sack flies so far in 3 games. I don't know that you could go back in the regular season and give me 6 examples of that. I'll bet you a steak dinner you can't. And by the way, add to that no errors in the 3 games.
That's amazing in itself. And then yesterday, with all the hits they got, and JT, Schwarber, and Hoskins were 2 for 15.
The top two batters, 1 for 29 in 3 games. Wiz is going to check me on this. I know he is. I'm going to say 1 for 29. I know I texted that out yesterday afternoon. First 2 batters in the order, 1 for 29. We're going to try not in this show to do a lot of I told you so's and stuff like that. We're going to be forward thinking, but we spoke a lot about our leadoff hitter. And when it gets to better elite level pitching, it's going to be a colossal mistake. Schwarber, prove us wrong. We've never wanted to be wrong so much in our life, but as of right now, and they're not good at bats. He's not hitting the ball in the barrel. So anyway. To watch this team play defense, play small ball, move runners over, and then get the sac fly. So even in the regular season, if they did that, second or third, which they did not, you wouldn't get the sacrifice fly. Bingo. 2 or 3 times we've done that on cue. So it is small ball. You've had good pitching. Yesterday, Suarez, not so good. 5 walks, can't have. Man, when the team gives you a lead, what's the one thing you don't do, Coach?
Well, base on balls kill you. And I'll tell you, yesterday, I think he left the bases loaded a couple times, and he got out of some jams. Otherwise, I mean, I didn't see most of the game because of a commitment I had. Right. But I was so shocked when I saw in the 4th inning, or the 5th inning, Schwarber, that was his 4th at bat. I said, where'd they get all the hits?
I think the top 3 guys are 3 for 37.
There you go.
Schwarber 0 for 12. Hoskins 1 for 14, and Realmuto 2 for 11. There may be a pinch hitter somewhere in between, but yeah, I mean, just look at the leadoff hitter to start. Schwarber 0 for 12, and we're 3-0. That's a great thing, and it's also a scary thing.
If you give us that stat last week, and we all come up with our prognostications, who's saying 3-0 after hearing that number?
No one.
Not I.
You can't.
No one.
You can't, even without the errors and the sacrifice flies, little small ball. You're saying those guys have to be on base more than that for us to win a postseason game. That's what makes this game so great, and that's what makes this game so great.
You got things like the Braves being so well rested, and here there was a figure in the paper that they're 20% worse when they're 6 days, 8 days before they pitch again.
I don't like a break. I mean, I know our team.
It showed up there.
I don't think anybody wants that much rest. How do you stay game ready, right?
My only concern is looking at how we've won these games.
Yeah.
And knowing that our top of the lineup has been that bad, because I don't think that you can get away with that against the Dodgers.
That's a great point.
Teams like that.
No.
You know, they'll love Harper to come up with no one on and 2 outs, or Realmuto, or Castellanos if he's going to be this hot. We have to get that top of the lineup figured out. And I don't know if that means the coach will make a change this late in the season now.
Never.
You know, will he put a Segura who's hitting 330 right now in the playoffs up there? Or are they just going to ride with Schwarber all the way through? But I mean, 0 for 12 right now in the playoffs. And we said it all year. This guy does not hit good pitchers, and that's what he's seeing. He does not hit good pitchers, and we can't expect him to all of a sudden start doing that now in the playoffs. And yeah, he's going to get his home runs. There's no doubt he's going to get some home runs. But 0 for 12, and then 1 for 14 with the Hoskins. I'm not as worried about Hoskins. He's so streaky, but Schwarber's a huge problem right now. He's not walking. He's not getting on base. He's striking out. He's popping up. He had one good at bat. I think we had a sac fly.
Yep.
That's all he's done. And defensively, he's not exactly doing much out there either.
The lefties don't have to think much about it. The righties know throwing the 12-6. You know, you got to keep it low. Can't hang it. Of course, you can. They also throw them off the plate, and they come in on play, and they know how to pitch them, the righties. Let's hope he proves us wrong, because I think to Chad's point, we're definitely going to need the top of the batting order if we're going to win some of these games. We're very lucky. I'm not going to put this all on luck. We're very fortunate to have that statistic prevailing over 3-0 in postseason baseball.
Well,
you don't see that much.
Other managers will switch now with Fried, who had a bad day yesterday, but he's a tough lefty.
Yeah.
So you would think maybe against a good lefty, when you know Schwarber has so much trouble hitting lefties, you might drop him down. But
he was 0 for 5 yesterday with a strikeout and 2 men left on base.
Yeah, and
that's just the problem right there.
And for the analytics haters, this is what you take away from yesterday's game. And we don't want to dive in too deep to analytics. You all run away. But yesterday, the Phillies' approach was to get to the pitcher early in the count, and that's what you saw. You saw attack, early swing baseball, and he got 3-4 knocks in a row off of it. If this guy's going to put one mistake over the plate, swing at it, and then the rest is on the hitter. A lot of times you'll see the grind. We're working. Yeah, you're working and you're grinding, and you're 1-2, and we'll convert your batting average against this cat to 0.89 when you're 1-2. Don't get the 1-2, right, Chad? I mean, that makes sense.
Don't do that. No,
don't do that.
No.
Right?
Well, how many times have we talked about we're tired of seeing Hoskins and different people taking the first pitch right down the middle, and that might be the best one you're going to get, and all of a sudden you're 0-1.
And that was their model yesterday, and yes, that is based on deep analytics and study and video, and it worked for them. I questioned this. Now, you both didn't see the game, correct?
I listened to it.
There's a play, I believe it's the fourth inning with JT. Ball back to the pitcher. He throws to first. The first baseman comes off the bag, comes back down. Watching it live, Marion was there. I said, he got back out. And she's good. She's got good hands. She goes, yeah, I agree. They do the replay. They show he obviously leaves the bag, comes back, and appears to have the bag. No replay by Atlanta. That goes on to be a 2-run inning, and if you reconstruct the inning, now would the batters have hit a sac fly? You don't know what Harper would have done, but you do know that there's an out. Okay, in an inning where they score 2 runs after that. What the heck's Atlanta doing? And if you're out there and you know better, once again, 609-828-5569. Please, you'll get Christmas gifts and cards, holiday gifts. Send me your input because I could not read anything on it today. I could not see. I couldn't get it on Twitter. No, nobody had to play. I had a couple of our SOS fans out there looking, scouring for it. Nobody could find the play. It may have been that the first baseman knew he didn't have the bag and waved off the bench, but not on replay. It looks like he's on the corner of the bag. No replay. It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. I love input on that. But, I mean, Segura, could he bat leadoff? I mean, we've talked about Segura.
We've talked about it all year.
He's more than capable of batting leadoff, and he really should in my eyes. But I think at this point, what's the saying? Beating a dead horse. I think I've done that this year when it comes to Schwarber in the leadoff position. I hope he does well. Naturally, we're all pulling for him. We want the Phillies to win. I have concerns over him in the leadoff spot as we get deeper into the postseason.
Yep.
But, we'll see, I guess, because I don't think that's changing at this point.
It was the top of the third with JT. You've got game 1, no errors, 1 double play. Game 2, no errors, 0 double plays. Game 3, no errors, 1 double play. And they're picking it. Baum has played the heck out of third base. Man, he's made some.
He's come a long way this year. He's come a very long way.
Yeah. He's a 295 hitter next year. Will he develop some
power, ability to walk?
OPS?
Well, I really think he's capable of hitting 25 home runs, and I think Stott could hit 20. I really do. I just think they're going to be 10-year pros, and I love both of them.
We talked about Atlanta's proclivity to strike out a lot, leading baseball. And sure enough, yesterday with bases loaded, what did they do? They struck out. They had 12 strikeouts, left a lot of men on base. But you watched the game, and you knew eventually. I kept saying to Mary, "Oh my, it's only the 4th. I thought it would be like the 7th." And I kept saying, there is so much time left. And you knew Schwarber was not going to be in there deep. You don't expect him to leave that soon. And you're going to ask your bullpen now to give you like 5, 6 innings. And Atlanta's going to get to the pen that long. And darn if they don't. And what a game. I mean, talk about everything, right?
I don't have much confidence in Brogdon. It seems like, what he used to. He throws a fastball and a changeup. Now, the confidence we have in Alvarado, Sir Anthony, we know his capabilities. Yesterday was a good one. And then all of a sudden, Eflin, who they've tried to go with confidence factor, I think something late, gives up that 3-run homer. And all of a sudden you're going, uh-oh. And then the catch. Amazing game.
I'm a little concerned at Eflin being our late game guy. It's not fitting right there. He hasn't looked good. Yesterday hurt him more than anyone expected. No one expected him to come in and give up that home run like that. But he's not looking good right there. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But
what we got to do, Chad? We got to get that 7 innings out of our starters, and then it's not big decisions to be made.
Which Wheeler and Nola I won't say should do.
That's what we're hoping
could
for.
do, right?
It's really great that we have Wheeler pitching today because yesterday we did use a ton of pitchers. I mean, Ranger only got 3 innings. He started off really shaky. He ended up having a good game, a good outing for what when he was out there. He settled in, got 5 strikeouts in 3.1 innings. That's not bad at all. But having Wheeler go today, we're gonna need 7 strong out of him.
Yeah.
If we can get to 8, that'd be great.
We sort of emptied the clip in the bullpen.
Well, I think everybody realizes, too, that Robertson's off the thing on a freak injury, jumping up and down in the clubhouse, and he pulled a leg muscle.
I don't get that until game time. And I text out, this is crucial. This is brutal. That's the guy in the pen you just know you give the baseball to. Postseason play his entire career. Yeah. Looking good right now. Back from the injury, and you're like, as long as we have him, we know we've got 4 outs, 5 outs. And you see that he hurts his calf. And calf injuries, they're really stubborn, I don't know the severity of it. Nobody mentioned the next series. I guess you're not going to give that to us right now. But if he's out, if we do make it to the next series against, let's say, the Dodgers, boy, you're going to miss him, right?
Well, in just regular league games, you'd have seen Nelson in there trying to get like 3 innings or something and to keep you in the ball game.
Yeah, and jumping up and down on heart rate. Relax there, big guy. I mean, get excited. But don't go. I guess it shows, Chad, how easily you get injured, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's an unfortunate injury. But we got to move on and deal with it.
Next man up.
Next guy's ready to go. And
next man up.
Yeah. Why don't we look at the probably the best game of the postseason so far, which was the Astros comeback yesterday.
Wow. Yep, let's go.
So first game of the ALDS, Seattle is at Houston. If you don't know, the final score was 8-7 Houston as they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th and 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th on a walk-off home run. And this was an absolutely crazy ending, very questionable ending. A lot of Mariners fans are not happy right now, or really anyone who's anti-Astros, which, to be honest, is probably everyone except Astros fans.
Oh, baseball world, get over it. My Lord, it was 5,000 years ago.
Oh, it doesn't make it right. No one's rooting for the Astros, and half those players are like still there. So what happened yesterday was Robbie Ray, who was a left-handed pitcher, he's a starter. He came in yesterday to face Yordan Alvarez, probably the best hitter in baseball, in the bottom of the 9th inning on 2 days rest. Yordan Alvarez is a lefty, and Robbie Ray is a lefty. So just based on that, you think, hey, maybe this makes sense, right? Well, here's what happened. Robbie Ray got blown up. He threw 2 pitches, and the second pitch on an 0-1 count was absolutely crushed, 435 feet for a 3-run walk-off home run. So now let's look at kind of the numbers behind it. In 2022, say, how did Yordan Alvarez do against lefties? Well, he hit .299 against righties, and he hit .321 versus lefties.
How about that number?
And he is a lefty, so he had a 400 on-base percentage versus righties and a 412 versus lefties. So right there, he's showing he hits lefties just as good, if not better, than righties.
So let's bring a lefty in.
So we think, hey, let's look at Robbie Ray. Well, how did Robbie Ray do? And he was better against lefties, as he should be. He is a lefty pitcher. His batting average against lefties was like 212, 260 on base. All that's good. But here's the problem. Robbie Ray threw 10.2 innings against this year versus the Astros, and he gave up 13 runs.
Wow.
Which is an ERA of 10.97. That is the worst amongst any team this year for him, and that's also the highest ERA or really highest OPS that any pitcher has given up against the Astros in all of baseball this year.
Only on Speaking of Sports will you get
with a minimum of 4 innings pitched.
Just the guy we want to bring in, Coach.
Yeah, right.
And why would Seattle be upset about this?
So Paul Sewald, who is a righty, he is their closer. He had a 2.67 ERA this year. He had 20 saves in 25 opportunities. And against lefties, his batting average was 167, 245 on base. All of his numbers against lefties are more effective than Robbie Ray. A reminder, Robbie Ray's batting average against lefties, 212. Paul Seward's, 167. So go to the next page here, guys, and look at this. Seward is better against lefties in every single major category. And as I said before, Robbie Ray's OPS against the Astros this year is higher than any other pitcher in baseball with at least 4 innings pitched. The Astros have hit .442 this year with an .865 slug against Robbie Ray. Why are we bringing this guy in? On top of that, despite that Robbie Ray had a good year, he's always struggled with the long ball. which is the only thing you don't want at that point is a 3-run home run. He allowed the third most home runs in baseball this year with 32 home runs allowed. An argument can literally be made that this was the worst pitcher on the planet to come in and face Yordan Alvarez in the Astros against this moment. And no, there's more. Yordan Alvarez, he's now hitting 500
on a roll
with a 1.9 OPS against Robbie Ray with 2 hits and 2 walks and 6 plate appearances. You know how Yordan Alvarez does against Paul Sewald, the guy who was in there? He's 1 for 7 in his career. So let's just sum it all up here. Here are the 8 or 7 facts that were going on. Robbie Ray's terrible against the Astros all year.
Check.
He's gave up the 3rd most home runs in baseball this year.
Check.
He has 0 saves in his MLB career. He's a starting pitcher.
Check.
Yordan Alvarez hits lefties just as good as righties, if not better.
Check.
Paul Sewald, the closer, who got replaced, had a great year and has better stats than Robbie Ray in all major categories.
Check.
Yordan Alvarez has destroyed Robbie Ray over his career.
Check.
And Yordan Alvarez has struggled against Paul Sewald over his career.
Check.
Now, with these facts in mind, the manager, Scott Servais, who makes an estimated $800,000 a year for these critical decisions, brought in Robbie Ray.
Check.
Tell me how that makes any sense.
Yes, hello. Sure we can. This is Major League Baseball. They want to know if you'll join the show. We hate to lose you, but
no, but I will take the managing job over in Seattle.
Well done, buddy. Well done.
Well, you can get it now that Tony La Russa is finally retired.
Can we agree that's his best catch rant the whole bit of the year?
Super.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Not only nice job on the catch, but the portrayal, the emotion, the passion.
See, here's the problem. It just shows that you can be an unbelievable player or just a bad player. It does not mean you, just because you played baseball or you played any professional sport, it therefore does not mean you have the ability to then coach effectively. Yeah. There is such a difference between having the physical ability to play a sport at the professional level and having the skill set to coach effectively. They are totally different things.
Game
totally
feel.
Different things.
Just talk to Ozark about Jerry Martin and Greg Luzinski, the 9th inning defensive.
I was there.
Yeah, and ex-Bauer who brought the glove out from. Yeah, I mean, and why? Well, if the game got tied, Bull was due to come up and bat, and so you're going to coach the 9th inning defensively. Okay. Unlike you've coached all year long where you could have had a game tied too, but in this case you're going to let Luzinski. And isn't it just the fates of evil baseball that have the ball hit out to the wall that's just out of his little flat-footed reach? It's not like, Martin would have had it easy, and the Bull could have had it, but did. And what an impact. And, of course, a horrible call at first base. Lopes was out.
And I was so high up in left center that I couldn't see that go on.
Really?
I knew by the crowd what happened, but I couldn't see it.
And we sold our lower-level seats. It may sound, criminal, but the numbers were ridiculous, to sit in not bad upper deck lower, and we're looking straight down on it. And when I saw Luzinski come out, the people I was with, my brother-in-law, Richie, God rest his soul, I said, what's going on? You're not telling me Luzinski's going out to left field. So we're in an uproar over it, and lo and behold, the ball's going to find a weak player. It always seemed when we played, and we had one weak link on defense in the playoffs, playing you guys found that player. I mean, it's just the way it works, but very good.
Well, you don't realize I said to the hitter, make sure you hit it there.
Yeah, I won't mention the player, by the way. But, Bud, that was good. Let's switch. By the way, new format, you baseball fans. We're going to go 30 minutes hard. We have a drop dead at 30. So if we don't give you a proper farewell, and you got our numbers, you know how to get a hold of us, that's why. It's the clock says 30, we combust, and we go to football for 30.
Two
Same
shows.
rules.
We have a 30-minute show on baseball coming out and a 30-minute show on football that will probably be out a day or two later after that.
That's the way it's going to work. If somebody does want to subscribe, and we would love you to subscribe. It's a bit tricky. Just please explain that process.
Well, wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple or Spotify, once you're on there, there's just a button that says add it to your library, subscribe to the show, follow the show. You'll see something along those 3 lines, or those 3 options. You just choose that, and you click it, and every time a new episode comes out, you're going to get a notification on your phone that says, hey, Speaking of Sports has dropped a new episode.
Why are people telling me they find it confusing? What do you think's happening? Troubleshoot.
Honestly, maybe they just are new to podcasts, but it's pretty much just that button. It's going to be, or there could be a plus button. It looks like a little cross. One of those 4 options, a plus button, add to library, subscribe to show, follow the show. Those buttons are all there on any platform. You just click that and you're good.
If you enjoy us on Facebook, which obviously is the vast majority, and you don't mind subscribing to the podcast, you would be helping us tremendously if you take the time to do that. We would be extremely grateful. Let's talk about the Yankees. That had some drama too, Coach. Did you watch the game?
I saw bits and pieces, yeah.
About the Donaldson almost home run.
All year he's had those problems where he's
run it out
the Yankee
and
fans.
then let the umpires make the decision. Be standing on second base, or even if and it did come right back to the right fielder. And Donaldson, the way he wasn't running 100%, might not have even made two, but at least you're on first base.
You go from a home run
to out,
emotions to out.
The part that's embarrassing
Yankee
with it
fans.
is the ball was hit like 314 feet. That's not far. That's not a true home run. Now, the Yankees have been beat up on that all year because of their short right field.
Yep.
Run the ball out. You didn't hit this ball at 400 feet. You hit it 315 feet. Okay, 13-year-olds can do that nowadays. Like, what are you celebrating for, Josh Donaldson? It wasn't even close. It wasn't like crushed or anything like that. It was barely out if it was out. Like, let's go. Run the ball out. It's the playoffs. What are we doing over here?
And once again, if somebody bet you $1 million, guys, that no Yankee fan would touch a ball that hits the capping. It doesn't ricochet right downward, but upward. Okay, and that was his confusion, I believe. He still should have ran it out.
Have to run it out.
And no Yankee fan after 2011 or 9 with the kid guy's name was Myers. Okay, nobody touches the ball. All of a sudden, the Yankee right field bleachers or stands are all well behaved. Because if they touch it when it's in the air, they're going to have to call that a home run if it's in the air. So it hits the top of the coping, let's call it, and goes straight up. And then, you can't tell if it's up and in towards the fans or up right over it or up towards the field. As an umpire, they're going to call that a home run. You just can't do anything about it.
Well, at worst, it's going to be an automatic double.
But they don't touch it, which is odd in Yankee Stadium. Cleveland, come on, guys, get the bats. We were both behind them and thought you guys would be pesky. 174 batting average, 4 runs so far in playoffs, 3 home runs. Slug, 275, 0 for 12. Runners in scoring position. Wait to hear this stat. It gets worse. 35 Ks to 4 walks. They're a team that walks more than they strike out in regular season. Shows the Gay Gang how this postseason baseball can be drastically different. We just talked about the Phillies and everything that went on with the Houston game. You're bringing the starter in, it's crazy. And the guy that gets the home run is his name Harrison Bader.
Bader, center fielder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trade. The Cashman pulls off. The kid used to walk the Yankee Stadium. He went to the, I should have the name of the school, Horace Mann School, 5 miles away. Had everybody in the stands last night. Gets traded back to the Yankees. Hits it there. How cool is that, man? How cool is that?
You know what's neat, too? He looks like a young Charlie Hustle, to use that term again.
Yeah.
And, if he watched the Yankees, and saw their ex-center fielder, the way he hustled and ran everything out, he patted himself after him a little bit. But, he definitely looks like a player, and the Yankees pull another one off.
Yeah, it's a big one, that game one. Of course, the Dodgers, you watch the game, you wonder what they're doing differently than the other team. They have 7 hits. The other team, Padres, have 7 hits. They do this, they do that. The other team does it. You're watching the game going, why are they ahead? It's a win. They make plays. They got great arms. They don't walk. They do walk at bat. Don't walk pitching. But a lot of times the box scores will belie the reality. You look at the box score that the other team won. You look at their stats for 22. You got batters under 200, 189, 199. I can name them all, but I won't. You got batters at 208, 211, and 216. And you look at that group and you go, that's the highest run differential, 333, whatever, in modern baseball. Then you look at the relief. Do you know the Dodgers closer last night, Coach? I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm really not, but do you know who it is?
I saw when Martin threw.
Yeah, Chris Martin. I bet if you stop, 100 people in L.A. today and ask them the closer, they may not know. I mean, I know it was Kimbrel doing it here.
Most of the time, yeah.
But they have a lot of innocuous people If you look at the list of Dodger bullpen guys, I think you gave that to us.
And they all seem to throw pretty quick too.
Yeah, I mean the way they coach, but they're not a lot of big names. You know, Brewster, Gratterall, how do you pronounce that? And Amonte and Ferguson, and I mean you just
but they're all solid. They're all solid.
Yeah, they are. They all got 1 point.
The team's loaded.
I guess the point people are listening is, okay, Chuck, you're rambling. What's your point? Here's my point. Almost regardless of who you put on the mound, the Dodgers have developed players unbelievably in pitching. It's every year. Every single year, when I look at the composite stats during and after the year, the Dodgers have the best ERA. And it's not because of Kershaw anymore. It's not the top three guys. They're hurt. Well, he's not, but the other two. But they always seem to have great pitching, regardless of who they trade for or what they do. The guys go there and get better or do something. Pitch within their model. Who knows what it is? Yeah, you got the guys at the top three.
It's amazing. The biggest name on that list is David Price.
Yeah. David,
by far.
Yeah.
But I remember at the beginning of the year, that kid Bickford threw a lot. He had big head of blonde hair and everything, and I happen to have a friend named Bill Bickford, so that's how I could associate that. But the other names certainly aren't household names.
All right, we got to move on from as they wrap up baseball here. What's the final predictions with the?
How much time do you have left?
We're past 30. So
we're past 30.
Yeah, what's the final Phillies prediction for the NLDS?
Skip rants. Go ahead. Predictions. We're out.
Well, with our two studs gone, and we were just hoping for a split at the most with Atlanta.
Just wrap up. What do you got? Prediction.
I got the Phillies right now, momentum. I think with the higher.
Just prediction. Just give us the number. You have them to the Dodgers. What?
Well, I think the Phillies are going to win in 4.
Here.
I don't know if you're looking for that.
Yeah, and next?
Dodgers, I think you're really pushing it to try and think about beating the Dodgers.
Yeah, Phillies beat Atlanta, and I'm going to go Game 5 Dodgers. But, they say anything can happen.
So Phillies sweep the Braves 3-0. We win it Friday night.
All right, gang. See you on the football side. That was the fastest hour of my life. I don't know how you guys feel. It was fun. See you soon.
Bye.